Welcome everybody here to the ESWC, the grand final, a best of three. It is a matchup that we have seen once before, in fact. It was at the International where they all played out for $1 million. Na'Vi with a victor to that one. EHOME went back with second place. Will that be the case here for ESWC? Who actually knows? That is the awesome thing about this type of game style. So it's myself, Tobi, we have been here for 3 days. 3 days of casting the ESWC. I have been joined by Sin for a lot of the matches as well, bringing their expert commentary. But when we actually have a matchup, which is the same as the International, it requires the same commentator matchup as well. So Slashman, welcome. Once again, we see these two teams going up against each other.
Thank you very much, Toby. I am very, very glad that I made it up, made it in time to cast this grand final. I'm not sure, probably Sin is busy with something, so I will fill in for this. Also, before we start, apologies from me to all the viewers listening in. I caught a cold yesterday, so my voice is a little bit stressed. Ready? And
fight through the pain, man. Fight through the pain.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, it is ESWC. It's not the one with the biggest prize pool, not at all. But it's obviously prestige and national pride is on the stake. On the other hand, please, guys, do not stop with the spam on racism. Sometimes we see in the joint Dota channels. It just gets annoying at some point. So we will have two teams that both respect each other, both know each other very well as well. Na'Vi against EHOME. Both have been interesting to note is both of them have been finishing the group stage as second, but both have obviously just shown that they were able to bounce back and are now in our grand final, with 4GL and Monkey Business fighting out for third place decider.
Yeah, I felt really sorry for the 4GL guys. They have worked so hard. They didn't drop a single game. Actually, they dropped a single game. No, I don't think they actually dropped a single game. I'm actually now just checking out for our group stages to see how they actually went. Because obviously it's been a long day. Yeah, Gamers League as well as Monkey Business, the two teams that have actually been removed, didn't drop a single game in the group stages. But because the semi-finals were a best of one, it all came down to one match anyway. So they dropped the match, which was important in the end.
They dropped the match that was important, and some people would probably argue that they revealed their hands too early. But obviously, if you were finishing on top of the group stage, you always have the advantage of fighting the supposedly weaker team of the opposing group. In both cases, the weaker team proved in the end to be the stronger team. A lot of experience just made it up. In the last game, we've seen Monkey going up against Na'Vi with a huge early game lead, showing the skills, or the individual skills and leadership of a few, actually all of the Monkey side, and in the end just lacking a late game experience. In my opinion, bad item choices. Vlad's was basically completely redundant on that anti-mage, because when you are kept in the chronosphere, you just need raw HP. Same as with Ancient Apparition Ulti, does not let you gain any life anyway, so just running around with 1.7k HP is not enough. So a Hard would have been better, even a Basher would have been better. Maybe even go for a double Hard, just to survive the onslaught, the initial onslaught, because the whole diaset was heavily reliant on their ultimates. When their ultimates were on cooldown, it was easy for Monkey to fight them back.
Yeah, and it's really, we're going to sit here at the end of this tournament and go, what would have happened if they didn't pick up that item, or what would have happened if they didn't pick that hero in that order? Captain Hindsight is one of our worst enemies when it comes to these type of tournaments, but it's also one of our big friends as well, because you can look back, you can see the mistakes you actually made, and what's actually going to happen in the future now. And I really think that we've got to give massive props to Monkey for actually getting to this point as well. If we look back to the International when they last competed, they got knocked out very early in the round of 16, and you had to feel sorry for them. But they've come back right now. They've changed up their roster up a little bit, but they've come with a new focus. They've been recently also at the ICS in the grand final in the Ukraine, and they managed to actually get through into that grand final. They did lose to Moscow 5 at that point, but now into this Dota 2 tournament, they find themselves going past Moscow 5. In fact, actually being in the same group as them and still actually getting past. And you've got to give all props to them, as well as 4GL, who have really just come from nowhere. No one was expecting them to actually be as powerful as they actually were. to actually go through, like, two teams going through the group stages. No one would have actually thought that it would have actually been Monkey as well as 4GL, the ones to actually go through flawlessly. Like, that was not expected. Moscow 5 was actually looking to be the favourites in that one, and EHOME to actually nail themselves through. Massively impressive for them. I really want to check out the semi-final for the second game, the EHOME versus 4GL match later, because that, for me, is going to be... I want to see just how EHOME actually did it. Unfortunately, both the matches were played at the same time, and then the players were rushed up to the main stage, and also we were actually rushed up to the main stage. Well, not main stage. We're actually casting live here from Berlin and patching ourselves through into the LAN server set up by Valve. So big shout out as well. Greg should actually be on the field down there too. He's been helping us out so much during this competition. So a shout out to all the guys who are supporting this competition, the admins, who you've got to say have actually done a pretty awesome job. Some things haven't been updated fast. There was actually a couple of things that were going a little bit wrong. But as far as the tournament goes, even with a beta competition, there's been no big disputes. There's been no, like, oh, the Tinker with his rearm can actually create more Necro units. It's just like, whoa, hang on. Like, that was all dealt with pretty nicely. There's been no real hiccups with that. It's just choosing who actually goes through with the two-way ties. And they abided by the rules. And, yeah, we've actually had a pretty smooth competition, I've actually got to say. I'm actually really, really happy for that for ESWC.
Yeah, well, we had some issues with the ESWC website before the competition started, but they've, at least in the end, they got it together, and everyone was happy with it. So, yeah, in total, we can see it was sort of a successful turn. The only thing I'm criticizing would be that they, exactly is the fact that they put the two semifinals at the same time.
Yeah, so we can't see them.
So we can't see them, basically, yeah. I mean, these are both matches of great importance, because we would have liked to see how EHOME did it against 4GL. We would have liked to see if EHOME came up with something new. With 4GL, well, how they handled the Chinese powerhouse would have been very, very good to see there. And so, in the end, we could only do replay casting of this.
Yeah, we will actually have a look at it. I love it how Ray from ESWC is actually trying to help me pronounce Horst. Yeah. Thanks, man, in the chat. The ESWC guys are actually tuning in right now because it's been cast in French at the event. If you're wondering why we're actually looking at this coming up soon screen going, hang on, why am I seeing this? We've actually patched the live feed from the ESWC main stage onto, well, this screen right now, so you can actually see that. So when the game starts up, they're actually going to have themselves a bit of an event. This is it's a big promotion of Dota 2 in France at the ESWC, not just in France, for the entire world. So they're going to have a little bit of a show. They'll bring the teams out, and we'll have that up here as well. So you're about to see what players are actually on the main stage, see who is actually who as well, because there's actually, well, there's a bit of substitution. Art, we have actually really, well, apart from the Ukrainian tournament, we saw him actually up on the main stage for that. But with that changeover, people might actually recognize this Na'Vi team with a bit of a swap over. And I know you'll be dying to actually introduce all the EHOME players as well. Yeah,
well, basically, put it that way.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. So the main screen's coming up, and we're having showgirls.
Okay, yeah, brilliant too.
Don't mind them. They're not Dota 2 colored, man. They're not Dota 2 colored. What is with this? What is with this? They're wearing blue. They don't realize it's green and red, or green and darkish, reddy kind of dye. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to see Dota 2 up on the main stage though, with the logo behind, and yeah, I'm really, really into actually see when the players come out, because Na'Vi, they're showmen. They're massive showmen. We even saw them in international, and there was glass separating the two teams in the international booth, and Na'Vi were up. They were like throwing their arms around. They're up in the opponent's faces. And when you talk to Dendy and when you have a chat to Puppy, they say it's an intimidation thing. They want teams to be scared of them. And EHOME, you got to say slash EHOME, they've got to be scared of Na'Vi coming into this. They know they had an awesome fight, and there was an awesome battle at the international. But Na'Vi really hit them hard later on in the game. I'm wondering if EHOME has actually come and thought about this and gone, okay, we're going to get to the grand final. We're going to face Na'Vi. How do we approach this strategically?
I don't think that either team is scared of the other, to be honest. It's just having a lot of respect for each other. Scared of them? Not really. I mean, basically what Navi did in International has been very common in the G League or G1 tournaments in China, because DK is basically the same. They are standing up and shouting at the opposition all the time, a lot of cursing, and afterwards everyone's good friends again. So it's not really an uncommon thing to do, and we also see this during the CS tournaments as well. Well, both teams have not had roster changes. Both teams have lost their captain. Artstyle left Navi, and A2O left EHOME. And on the other hand, Crystal was kicked out from EHOME. Still a huge amount of controversy going on the S-Gamers forums, not knowing why exactly he was kicked. Because he came back for one game, played as a stand against World Elite. EHOME have been, after the International, have lost every single game. And then Crystal joined for the game against WE and won the game single-handedly with an anti-mage, carried them to victory, and was kicked out afterwards again, and EHOME started to lose games. So nobody was really knowing what was going on. Nobody really knew why Crystal was kicked out, but either way, the two substitutes are Fabregas, former DK player, and Perfect Cact, who's a former World Elite player, and both of them will be taking up the support roles in EHOME's team, since of their, well, they do not have a large amount of LAN experience, generally speaking, and so the more responsible roles are going to be taken up by the three veterans, which are 357, X, as well as LAN, or PLT.
Mm-hmm. So now it looks like the showgirls have got off. Really, there was something that dance was missing, Slash, and I think it was me in between the three girls actually dancing with them. But we will actually now have the two guys. These have been the main presenters for the ESWC main stage. If you haven't been tuning into it, you can easily actually see it as well. It's over at ESWC on their main page, and you can check it all out from there. So these are the two main guys who have been introducing all the matches, and they've been there all week long. Dota 2, of course, is the wrap-up. This is the last day of the ESWC. Dota got put into the last half of it, so some of you guys will be like, oh, I missed the games on Monday, I missed the games on Tuesday because I was at work or I had to do something like that. We've recorded all of them for you, so if you've just tuned in right now and you want to check out, so see EHOME actually come onto the main stage. Really, man, every single time I see that guy with a cap, it's just so much for me.
That's free. Okay, I'm actually going to go through them. So the first one is PLT, second is 357, the guy with the cap, and the rest I currently cannot see, but maybe when they will be coming on the main stage, we will be able to see them once again, and I will introduce everyone to see how they actually look like in real life, because people normally just know them as great players, but I've not seen them in person yet.
We can at least introduce Navi right now coming onto the main stage. We're actually watching the manager come on too. Look for the tall guy, that's Puppy, and Ori, they're actually not going up to the camera. Navi actually look really cool and calm right now. They just come in, they just sit down, they're ready to actually go. I was actually really expecting them to try and actually get the crowd pumped up, but they just come into the corner, sit down, the mood lighting starts up, and Puppy sits down in the middle of the team, ready to rock and rumble. But we might actually get a close-up on the players. We're currently actually inside the game too, so when we come to that point, we'll switch you over to the in-game screen. And, well, actually, they're going to jump towards their commentators as well, or at least one of them, which is their French guy. So in the meantime, we'll actually jump you guys into the game. If they put anything else back up on that screen, I'll let you know about it. But for now, Navi versus EHOME. Whoa, Slash. It's just like the calm before the storm. It's the calm before the storm. I really, really want to get into this.
Yeah. All right. So, introducing the players in the drafting stage, Puppy and QQQ respectively. QQQ is the nick of 357. And then we have Achvos, hard carry player of the team Navi, Dandy, solo mid, Lie of Heaven, solo side, and Ars Art, double A support. To be honest, Light of Heaven and Ars Art, they both switch their roles sometimes, and it basically depends on the hero they want to play. Mm-hmm. QQQ recently been taking up a ganking role, not the support role we've been used to seeing him on. NUZ is PLT, Lamb, currently the hard carry player of the team. ARS is Fabregas and support player. PCT is a support player, and X is obviously our solo mid.
All right, it's now our time to get in the game. The game has actually started up. We had one quick view there of Navi, but the game is now underway. And we will actually jump ourselves straight into that as well. Sure, our sound is gone, and we'll go into our captain's draft after everybody loads into the game, because we also want to remind people we're actually remoting in from Berlin. We're not live here on the stage. That's why you actually see the boys in Paris actually casting it up. They are doing it live from the event. We've been hooking in for the entire tournament from here at the Join Dota studios. Please do check us out, joindota.com. We bring you all your coverage for all great Dota events. Or at least for Dota 2. I don't think we've actually missed a single one yet, Slash. There'll also be another one next weekend. There'll be an online tournament, 2-day tournament next weekend. You'll find out more about that very, very soon as well. But in the meantime, we're in Captain's Mode. We're in Captain's Mode. Na'Vi for this first game is a best of 3. We'll be starting off in the Radiant slot, Slash.
Yeah, and they apparently looks like they will have a first ban and first pick as a result as well. I'm pretty sure that EHOME going to ban out Chen. It's a trademark hero of Puppy, and EHOME just don't feel comfortable playing against Chen in general. So they have been banning Chen in almost every single game so far. So, but first ban goes to Puppy. So let's have a look at what he chooses to ban.
5 seconds remaining.
Actually, really weird for him actually in his first ban to actually stop and think about it. There is a small camera angle on them at the moment on the live stream. But, yeah, it keeps on switching in and out of it. So we actually don't have that. As I said, we're not live at the event. We don't have our own camera set up for the event. So we are casting live here. So you get to see me for this one. And Lich actually going to be the first ban out here by Na'Vi. And Chen instantly banned out by EHOME. They've got to remember that Chen that Puppy put them through at the International.
Yeah, probably. And shout out to MYM apparently coming up. Interesting to see. Lich, just one of the favorite support heroes that Chinese teams in general just love to run, because of his insane lane control, and Chinese Dota just focuses on lane control, really.
Anti-Mage now taken out as well, so Na'Vi removing out that big hard carry. Not really surprising considering Anti-Mage is possibly one of those heroes that can get out of control for them, especially if they want to pick up a Night Stalker. Prophet being the last ban out by EHOME, so removing out a lot of push power. Instant Spectra! Instant Spectra from Na'Vi.
Interesting. I think this is, at least for me, it's the first time I will be seeing Chavost on Spectre now.
He's played it a couple of times during the tournament. I think he's actually played 2 of the matches as Spectra. The rest of it, he's gone as Faceless Void. It's kind of like he's just given up on the whole Mirana thing of the International. And I'm wondering if that's going to make the die just go, oh, hang on, Spectra's into the pool right now. Do we try and counter early on? Do we pick our own hard carry? And they go with Clockwork and Tidehunter as the answer.
Wait, what? I am confused.
This is reminding me of EHOME's game back when they played when they played back in their group stages, and the Clockwork lane really did not work for them. But they've gone with Clock and Tide.
I've no idea why they pick up Clockwork so fast. Spectre is able to hound to dagger face out of the cogs, and Clock is just not terrifically good against Spectre either, because if he calls Spectre and he just continues, the Spectre will just hit on him. I mean, Tidehunter is a very, very sensible pick. Tidehunter, I like that pick, but really, Clockwork got as first pick? I don't understand it. Maybe they will actually show me why, if Axe is going to rape shit with Clock, that is. Just 2 melee heroes, 2 melee strength heroes being picked up as first picks, it just is quite confusing for me.
Well, they did pick him up very, very fast, so it might be a pocket strategy they've actually been working on for this tournament. They wouldn't come to the grand final without knowing exactly what they wanted to do. And we already see Na'Vi going up with Team Global and then taking a side solo as well. So we've already got Light of Heaven's Windrunner, and we've got Dendy on Ancient Apparition and Havorst on Spectra.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, it's more than likely what's going to happen. We have actually seen them swapping around a little bit. Even Puppy played Ancient Apparition during this tournament, but obviously taking up the more support role. And Tinker now comes up for EHOME. First time we see Tinker on any of the live streams, and picked up very, very fast. I think EHOME know exactly what they want to do with this.
It looks like EHOME have been really planning it out. They've planned out what they want to do, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy that Tinker has picked up. Tinker is an awesome hero, and it's even more awesome if Axe is on Tinker.
I have not seen an ex-Tinker in a long, long time, man.
Since the International, really.
Yes, actually, that's probably it. And I don't think that Tinker actually went too well when we watched him on that International match, but Tinker coming up, so that's a lot of pushing power to come out from him if he gets his BT. So we're looking at him as mid-solo. Tinker versus AA in the mid. Would Na'Vi actually want to run that?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, everybody knows that Axe Tinker solo mid is a force. and they would probably need to send their best solo, which is going to be Dandy, against him.
Mm-hmm.
And Weaver being banned out from the Radiant side, they fear that PLT, well, in this case NUZ, Weaver as well as Jarrah, basically anyone who's able to outcarry the Spectre. And EHOME banning out Enigma, very sensible ban, against Puppy.
Yeah, we just seen Na'Vi actually pick up not only Enigma, but they actually had Prophet in their last game they played up against Monkey, which led them to victory. And Nightstalker actually, but I don't know how he actually gets to this point, but Nightstalker being the very, very last ban. A crazy, crazy game when that kind of stuff actually happens. And the Dire, not even wasting time again. Witch Doctor, straight away after the Vengeful Spirit there of Na'Vi.
It really looks like EHOME have planned it out. I mean, we've seen it in the first game with the International as well, that EHOME have been like they picked Doom, Storm, and what was the last pick? And Prophet. They picked Doom, Prophet, Storm in the first 3 picks, and everyone was going, what the hell is going on? Because everyone's farm dependent, and we've normally not seen EHOME using Prophet at all, but they planned it out and it worked out for them in the end.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering right now who the Dire's going to pick up as their hard carry as well. Are we going to look towards Faceless Void for either of the teams right now as well? Because, well, Radiant won't want to pick it up because they've already got their big hard carry. That's Spectra. They want to throw every bit of gold into that Spectra. And Windrunner on the bottom lane support. They might look for a jungler at this point if they want to try and keep up with the push power.
Enchantress?
Yeah, do we see Enchantress?
No. It's not going to be picked against Tinker. Enchantress would be terrible pick against Tinker. Tinker just kills her instantly with his combo. They will not probably need something. Maybe Shaker. Shaker would be a good pick in my opinion.
They go Pudge. Oh, I'm having flashbacks. The only match, the only time that Na'Vi picked up Pudge, they gave it to Dandy, and that might be who actually goes into a middle lane, maybe.
Yeah.
And that'll be Dandy. So yeah.
Actually, that's a really, really good pick because Tinker is not able to kill off that Pudge in mid lane with this combo. So this is a good pick. On the other hand, Pudge is able to kill off Tinker there. So I think that's a very, very sensible pick, especially also against Witch Doctor, who is a very squishy hero. So that pick actually made a lot of sense to me. It's not people just going, oh my god, Pudge being picked up, you know, we only see it in pubs. No, Pudge is actually a very good pick in Dota 2 currently. He's definitely a top tier pick. It's not that just it's some crazy strat. It's like very sensible. It's very calculated. And Morphling! What?
I want to know how EHOME are going to do this. If they pull it off, and we will just... The decoders, those guys on the forums be posting up, this is why this actually happened when you look back in review of the picks. But Morphling coming up, that's a big, big hero to actually grab.
Wait.
Has EHOME ever played Morphling in the recent times? I don't think so.
Never. They have not played Morphling.
And it's going to a new player.
Since Burning left, basically. Since Burning left EHOME, they've not been running Morphling at all. Never. Not even in scrim matches. Not even in scrim matches. He also goes for a Wrathband first build.
Wraithband as well as Tango. EHOME calling out for reports, which will actually give us some time to run through. So Nuz will be playing as that Morphling. We have us. Actually, you probably actually want to run through these guys. You actually can tell you their real names as opposed to what tags they're playing under.
Sure. The real name is PLT on Morphling, not a surprise. X on Tinker, not a surprise. Fabrikas on Witch Doctor, we've seen him playing it against Moscow 5, and he did a good job there. QQQ357 reverting to support role on Tidehunter, which basically leaves the new guy, PCT, on Clockwork Goblin. Perfect Cat is his real name, basically. Perfect Cat, and PCT is the abbreviation of it. Interesting to see that, because apparently trusting, and they put a lot of faith into him. So the newest player of EHOME is running a very, very crucial role, which is the initiation role. And we see this is going to be a support ancient apparition as predicted correctly, because the Pudge was picked up. So it's Dandy, Pudge, Achovos on Spectre, AA Ars Art on Vengeful Spirit, Puppy on Ancient Apparition, and a lot of Heaven on Windrunner. So not a lot of surprises there from the Na'Vi side. But in terms of EHOME, really, the Morphling pick is baffling me quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm interested to see just how much he actually gets on that top lane. He will be going up against Windrunner, so that's the upside for him. But both Tinker, Witch Doctor, everyone's going top, so it'll be a Titan Witch Doctor support for the Morphling on the top lane. X will be going mid, but I'm wondering if EHOME are just like, well, we're going to meet up in the dire neutrals, maybe that's where we're going to get a kill, but it's not where Na'Vi are headed. Na'Vi are headed down towards the bottom lane. There's already a ping just around this area here, and that's going to be so we can actually hook. It's either there or we actually see the path. I can't draw on the map, unfortunately, when we're actually paused. But I've got a funny feeling the Pudge gank is actually going to happen here. They'll look to see if they can actually gank up Clockwork Goblin, pull him in, and when he actually transitions down towards the bottom lane, and that'll be a pretty simple transition for Dendi to walk in towards the mid. But
it's interesting.
I don't know why Light of Heaven's heading down there as well for this gank then.
Maybe they're predicting that EHOME will going to come in the woods and we'll have a 5-on-5 fight. We saw that against Moscow 5 already. That EHOME love to go aggressive even from level 1 onwards. And it's just basically Spectre against Morphling. That's kind of reminds me of an era that we have seen quite a lot of times, which was at 6.71, when it was always Morphling and Spectre. Basically every single game. Spectre is able to outcarry Morphling in a 1-on-1 situation. In team fights, Spectre has greater use, but Morphling is a far faster pusher. That's the main reason why Morphling has been winning most of the other ones. Most of the time, Morphling won all the games because he just pushed down one lane and had more mobility than Spectre, who could only use the ultimate once in a while.
I'm actually interested to see when they can actually lock down Morphling. Obviously, the reject can be done, but when the gank's going to happen and where the gank's actually going to happen as well, we know there's a massive possibility for global attack just between Dendi as well as Havorst, and these guys have played together for a very, very long time. So the timing for them should actually be pretty awesome for this. But to actually pop off, actually, what am I saying, Dendi and Havorst? I'm saying Puppey and Havorst, where Puppey will actually pop off the Ancient Apparition ultimate, and then Spectre actually haunts into who he's actually ultimate, and then can actually finish off the player just then. So anywhere on the map, a gank could actually happen, could easily be set up here for Na'Vi. I'm interested to see if that actually is going to happen on Morphling, especially considering he's basically, well, I know you would love to describe his, well, he actually has four escape mechanisms?
He's got 4. He's got 4 escape mechanisms. Every single one of his skills are an escape mechanism. A waveform to, well, it's basically a blink with damage on top of it. It has lower cooldown than blink. And then you have Adaptive Strike, which pushes the target back. So, which is also an escape, also stuns, mini stuns. Then you have his Morph ability, after which he is named, which is trading agility for strength or vice versa. So in late game you will have strength for agility to deal more damage, but early game it's an insane escape mechanism. Trade all this agility for strength. And as last is his replicate. If he replicate one hero, he can go into the replicate at any time. So it's 100% escape for him if he managed to replicate before a fight.
Yeah, we also have the pause actually stopped. I was actually informed too the reason why the disconnections and reconnection back in again. It seems some of the players couldn't see their own health bars. It is actually a graphical glitch which actually happens when you start up the game. Also actually affects a couple of the animations as well. But they have actually just paused the game, which was added function added in the recent patch. It was actually there at the International, but it was had to be manually done.
Oh, clock! Oh, clock!
He'll be fine. He's fine. They didn't get close.
He was starting with a rocket, so which is okay. He didn't hit anyone though, so he already wasted a lot of mana there.
The battle
Yeah,
I said it's not really wasted.
Clockwork Rocket.
Preventing a gank.
That Clockwork Rocket is so like you need every bit of mana for him on that bottom lane. He can actually take the first rune, grabbing the illusion rune. But that rocket is what allows Clockwork Goblin to actually be a side lane solo. Like, Windrunner loves the side lane, and that's what we're going to see on the top lane, because she has that range, she has that power shot, and can just basically farm from range, as well as harass from range, where Clockwork Goblin forced to actually stop. Actually, we're seeing the warding on the bottom lane to actually help him out as well. But he can use that rocket, which he popped off again. He popped off again to actually check out, so that's the second rocket he's actually used. But he can't use them for last hits now.
He cannot use it for last, and he's got to go all the way around, so he will miss the whole XP of the first creep wave. It's just preventing him from being ganked, basically. Up here also just cold feeding the illusion of Witch Doctor there.
Havorst's going to have such a great time on bottom lane. Such a great time.
He's going to have
Spirit just walks up. The rocket, a third rocket used. It's, yeah. Our side is just a great buffer between Havorst as well as Clockwork.
He is, really. And on the same time, Morphling's going to have a good time. So it's 2 hard carries, really 2 hard carries farming it up. It's just about again, once again, it's about the solo mid. Who's gonna get the ganks off? Who's gonna get the ganks off? Is it Dendi? Is it X?
Well, it's... who's actually going to die in the mid lane too? Like, X is going up against two heroes, the Ancient Apparition as well as Dendi. Will be a great combo if you actually cast off the cold feet and hook actually hits, then you actually have a little bit more time. And already Dendi hurling out the hook as well as the rot. He's got a couple of clarity, well, he's only got one clarity on him, taking a lot of damage here by X early on in the piece. Wants to come in closer. Puppy's doing what he can, but that laser, Dendi's going to have a real hard time there in the mid lane, especially considering he's going to be leveling up slower because Puppy is there.
Yeah, it was basically Axe is doing great harassment there, using his early game advantage because he knows that once Pudge is gonna gain more levels on his hook, the range increases, the damage increases. So he's got to take advantage of it.
Scream for Witch Doctor wants to come in towards the mid, thinking about it, but doesn't in the end, just throws one hit there on Puppy and then runs back up to the high ground.
He's got a haste ring, so it's easy for him to do and move around once again. So it currently looks like a 2-2-1 situation for both teams, really. PCT on the bottom is still
Windrunner trouble on top, already Gush, but luckily that Windrunner ability gets herself out, maybe not. Morphling waves in, this could be first blood. Wish not just running up there with the rest of the haste, throws the cast. The first blood, it is on the back of Morphling, and EHOME claim it. And there goes bottom lane, instant rebuttal kill on the bottom lane, Clockwork Goblin going down. Vengeful Spirit actually getting the last hit there and not Havorst.
Yeah, very good play there by both sides. But on the other hand, you have seen Na'Vi only used 2 heroes, and well, basically EHOME needed to use all 3 to kill that Windrunner. Windrunner is just more difficult to kill.
But Windrunner is more difficult to kill, but fair enough, you're using 3 heroes to kill it. But Puppy is still there in the middle lane with Dendi. Now we see maybe an attempted hook. Cold Feet now going. X actually going to hold his ground. Rock comes up. He actually gets away from it, but it's not going to be enough. Titan's going to come in. Gush goes. Already Tinker is dead in the mid. That's a big kill to get, but they don't want to lose Dendi as well. He's running up the high ground. There is not another cast to come out. And that's actually a pretty good game just coming off there for them both to actually live as well and not get picked off by the Titan Witch.
Yeah, very good play there by Na'Vi. Important to kill that
Clock
Tinker.
again. Clock again. The magic missile is there. The magic missile is hit. He's staggered and slow. PCT trying to run back again. Havorst, he needs a little bit more. 60 HP. And then pops the South to live.
That was really close, but they could not have chased further anymore.
Diving the top lane. He's got to be careful. Bounce down here on the Windrunner. Windrunner will want to do this. Morphling. Strength morphing. They can't kill him. Light of Heaven thought he had that, judging by Morphling's low life. But with a quick strength morph, he went straight up to over 1,000 HP, and he just could not get the final hit.
This is the power of Morphling, really. It's difficult to pull off. It was insane micro there. So very good play by both sides. I really got to applaud both sides at the moment. 2-2 is the scoreboard.
Bottom lane again. Magic missile. The dagger is going to throw. Yes, it is. Vengeful Spirit once again stealing the last hit there from Havorst. He's going to get slightly annoyed about that, but he won't get annoyed about the fact he's getting farm on that bottom lane. Greater than that of Morphling as well.
I'm not quite sure why PCT was still saying that. I mean, it was kind of obvious. He was standing at half HP and Spectre already could complete up face boots. So she deals a heck load of damage there.
And Vengeful Spirit
3-2 is the score for Na'Vi. And currently looks pretty good for them. Simply because they are winning 2 out of 3 lanes, while EHOME are only winning 1. Because they won mid, they are winning bot, and they only lost top. So currently it favors Na'Vi.
How long could actually favor Na'Vi? Dendi getting ganked up here. Laser rocket, not enough to kill him. 70 HP. 70 HP. They needed a bounce there from the Witch Doctor stun, but there was no creep wave for it to actually bounce with. So X unable to actually finish off the Pudge, who will now run back to base and fill up his bottle.
Yeah, it's still important. Even though the kill does not come, Pudge has left his lane, so it's easier for Tinker to farm out in the meantime. It's just a lot of time wasted there for Pudge.
Bottle now up a Morphling. So he's gone bottle as well as Treads. Where Havorst doesn't really care, he'll just go ring.
They really know that Linkit's currently is just not that strong because of Urn, because of Medallion of Courage, and might just not go for it at all. But this is also the very first time I'm seeing PLT playing that Morphling. And he's doing a great job at that.
Pudge! Hawk on X! and instantly rockets and lasers down. Oh, Puppy thought he was good for that. Puppy so thought he was good for that. But X just so fast. So fast, and without that ultimate there from Pudge, he was unable to actually hold Tinker in place. So at least he gets something for it, and a hook again! Oh, Dendy, it's so hard to stop him. Give him a double. It doesn't give him a double, too much time passed, but Tidehunter goes down as well.
Yeah, very, very good play there by Dendy, and showing once again the strength of his Pudge. Probably they were thinking that since Witchlook was an invis, it couldn't kill him, but Tidehunter was already on far too low HP. So really favoring Na'Vi at the moment. Everything is going in their way.
How did Wish Doctor get caught out like that too? That's the third one Dendy just got. Wish Doctor was invis, man. And Dendy still managed to actually find him and hook him.
Maybe he popped out of his invis, I don't know, invis stopped. Well, Dendy is solo killing everyone at the moment, so it's looking insanely good there for Na'Vi. EHOME are basically playing like amateurs at the moment. You just can't get up. It's impossible to let it do that, because Pudge is so insanely powerful mid game. The more levels he gets, once you get level 2 ulti, he is able to kill anyone solo, even Morphling.
He's got 4 kills already too. That's how many they've given to him. 2 to the Vengeful Spirit in the bottom lane. But Havor still farming up. He's got that Ring of Health, so it won't be too far before he gets that Vanguard. I'll be interested to see C2. Whoop, hello, Morphling, having a go on top lane. Interested to actually C2 the build will be coming out from Spectra. Considering he's getting free farm right now, will he complete up the Vanguard early on, or just be happy with the ring and maybe actually convert it later on, yeah, and just go for Radiance early on in the piece?
I would probably, if his farm is insanely good and everything is going in that way, he could just rush a Relic. Because the ring is just allows him to stay on lane, that's the only thing he wants to. Vanguard really is not going that well.
Dendy comes towards the top lane. In the meantime, Clockwork Goblin is actually going to die in the bottom lane. I'm looking for the hook! Again! Dandy! He had no vision for that! But he still got it!
Yeah, very, very nice hook. I just saw it. I just saw it happening. Insanely well done there. They knew that Witchlook was there somewhere. It was a blind hook. And he just kills everyone at the moment.
But that's what Dendy does. Like, a lot of people go, oh, he's map hacking, his map. And Tidehunter's also called out. Dendy with the rot. One hook will actually do it. 2 seconds. 1 second. The hook. Will the dodge come? No, he Urn charges him. He kills him with the Urn. Morphling's here, though. Tinker comes up. The ultimate there from Dendy goes on X, but the rocket's going to be enough. Puppy's actually a little bit too far, and he wants to get the kill on X. Not going to be possible. A rocket there from Tinker. Morphling gets 1. Tinker gets 1. Critical kills for them to actually get. Vengeful Spirit having trouble on the bottom lane too, taking a little bit of damage from the tower. But Clockwork dies for yet another time. And this time Spectra gets the kill.
Very good. And buyback there from Pudge. Pudge is instantly, but we know that Dendy is aggressive. But this time he was overextending his stay. He could have just finished it earlier with the Urn, basically. He could have finished it far earlier on with the Titan, but since he was chasing him all the way, Morphling got a very important kill. Pudge was on an unstoppable spree, so Morphling got a lot of gold there from the kill, which is a really good. Now, basically, the score is currently 10-5, but EHOME are really not behind in this, simply because Morphling is having a very, very, really wonderful start there.
Yeah, he's getting farm up on that top lane. You check it out right now, and it's 45 for 16 right now. He's not the most farmed hero on the map. That title does go to Havorst on the bottom lane, but he does actually have those extra kills. So 3 kills for him, 1 assist as well, and Pudge. You hear the fresh meat sound going off, and it's Tinker being pulled in the middle lane. He's really going to stop dying. It's going to push his BTs back so far.
I know, it's insane how well Dendy is doing.
The repositioning from Dendy. He was trying to kill up the creep wave, so he actually had a clear line of hook to the Witch Doctor. Doesn't get in the end, but picks up a haste rune. So he gets haste as well as more charges, and he's looking for the Witch Doctor again.
Yeah, it's easy for him to do so because he's incredibly tanky already. If you look at it, he's got 1.4k HP.
Another kill on the bottom lane. In the meantime, Dendy actually killing off the Witch Doctor between the Tier 2 and Tier 1 tower. Just hasting his way through. And now actually on bottom lane, Havorst is in trouble. He does not want to die right now. He actually daggers himself through the trees. They can't chase him. Tinker is down here. He has no more mana for another rocket. Now he does with a bottle charge. But Pudge is here. The hook misses. The gush goes on Dendy. X wants to retreat. Then he's going to leave Tidehunter to actually die right now. The Urn charge was instantly put there on X. Dendy would love another hook, but has no mana for it as well. Dendy just being everywhere on the map right now and saving her
He's doing the
Vorst's
correct
life.
thing. He's really doing the correct thing now. And it's 14-5. It's a early game rape, you could say, by Na'Vi. Simply because Dendy's getting all the kills. Again, Dendy's getting the kills while Vorst farms up.
Yeah.
Looks like...
The problem though later on in the game is Morphling still actually having a good start. So you can't say all the hope is out the window here for EHOME. It's been a fantastic start for Na'Vi, but the hopes are going to be with this guy right now, Morphling, who actually waves straight across the creep wave on the top. More creeps. He's almost about to complete up that Yasha as well.
Yeah, he's going for the Yasha build first. And it's also basically people were going, why was he waving into that? It's basically getting the creep kills, killing the creeps.
Dendy! Hook! Grabs the Pudge! Tinker is here! Laser! Rocket! Not enough! Trying to get the kill. Bounce stun goes out there by the Witch Doctor. He has nothing else to actually throw, but Morphling's in the fight as well. Replicates up. We do actually lose Tinker. Spectra horns himself in. He's left the bottom lane. Havorst has joined the fight. Witch Doctor is caught on the wrong side of the river, trying to run away from VS as well as Havorst. They're both out of mana, so it might be possible for him to actually get away, but the movement speed is not as high. Pudge trying to hook again, trying to look for the Morphling, and Witch Doctor does die just before he gets down next to the bottom rune.
That is a 3-for-0 trade. Basically, TP support does come in, but it was a 3-for-0 trade. Dominating Spectre, it's a 3-for-0 trade. It's really going into Na'Vi's way. Because X is nowhere near his BOTs at the moment. Nowhere.
And Clockwork's actually just sitting down here on the bottom lane. He is that desperate. He's using an Invis rune to farm. To actually farm XP. Like, it's not actually to farm up itself. He's just sitting there just trying to soak up any XP because he can't cross the river.
He doesn't have any gold whatsoever. Basically, Clockwork is completely horrendously underfarmed as well as the 2 support heroes of EHOME. So you got 3 people, actually 4. Tinker is also horrendously underfarmed. While on the other lanes, it looks amazing there for Na'Vi at the moment. Dendy looks amazing, obviously. Havorst is getting a lot of farm, and even Windrunner is doing fairly fine.
It's really, really difficult right now for EHOME. I don't want to count them out yet, though. I don't want to count them out. There's also a best of 3, so this is only just the first game. This is the first game of 3, a possible 3, depending, well, if EHOME could take it 2-0, if Na'Vi could take it 2-0, then we wouldn't actually have a third. At this point, Denny's looking pretty good. Looks like he's actually going to go for Hood of Defiance too. The cloak is already up. He's trying to get the angle for the hook there on X. Just up on the side. AAL, he's going to actually hit here on X. There's still no angle. Dendy is trying to get it. Rockets will pop off and just damage Puppy as well as Dendy off a little bit. But Dendy also with that flesh heap makes life a little bit easier. Those rockets are magical? Magical damage?
Yeah, it's magical damage. So it does reduce it.
Probably another reason why Pudge was a good pick to come up against a Tinker. In the meantime now, Pudge actually rotating behind. Tendy's going to look for a hook again. 3 heroes in the mid. PCT's left the bottom. Rocket fires up. He spots Pudge up on the high.
He can't do anything. And Na'Vi, basically Pudge at the moment is not afraid of anyone. He can dive into 3 heroes and still live to see the day.
1600 HP will let you do that. Those illusions just scouting around at the moment.
They do not have enough burst. They just do not have enough burst to get him down there.
If Wish Doctor gets his ultimate though, then they'll actually have enough if they can hold him in place.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah. Well, holding Dendy in place. He's going for a hook! He gets it 2 on X. Wish Doctor needs a stun. He really needs that stun. It doesn't come in time. He stuns, but there's nothing for it to bounce to. Malony pops as well. Morphling will jump up. They need to deal more damage right now to Dandy, but Vengeful Spirit is here. Holds Morphling in place. Replica goes off. Dandy is still up here. Gush goes on the Vengeful Spirit. That's the one they think they can actually kill off right now. Should be able to. Tinker still in this fight. Morphling waves down. Windrunner joins in. Tries to actually shackling up the Replica of the Witch Doctor instead. Tidehunter trying to bring him down. And they will actually run back out again. Vengeful Spirit. Still no one's actually dead yet. Pudge is on pretty low life. He spots the VS. Thinks about the hook. Misses the hook. Was expecting to actually run up. I say spots the VS as the replicant. Now the real VS is there. Lets off a Howl of Terror. It's not going to be enough. And EHOME actually with no casualties from that fight.
Well, no casualties? They lost Tinker.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
They lost Tinker. It's a 1-for-0 trade, and Dendy is getting kills everywhere and solo all the time, and while EHOME can do nothing about it. Basically, this game is unfolding the same as Monkey against Na'Vi last game, where Monkey were having that huge lead in the early game. EHOME are getting raped at the moment. There's like no other way to describe it.
Yeah. I don't want to see that keep happening, though. I do not want to see that keep happening. There's got to be a way for EHOME to actually come back. A close game is a fun game. Havorsa with a farm. He's actually at 2,700 gold, too, so that Radiance is not going to be far off. And PCT swap, stun, cold feet, chain. Havorsa didn't even need to be there. Ancient Apparition gets the kill. And Clockwork picked off once again. And Pudge gets another one, too. Tinker getting killed in the middle lane from a hook. And ultimate combo.
Basically,
and another hook. Trying to get the Witch Doctor. But he picks up an illusion instead.
There's a lot of epic hooks that are coming around from Dandy all the time. Even even when I thought his Bioleague is not worth it, it really was not worth it, but it doesn't matter. Because they are outplaying EHOME pretty hard at the moment.
EHOME's got to find an opening somehow. It's got to come from that Morphling as well. Morphling's got to be a big player. I don't think Morphling's actually died yet. No, he's actually still 3-0. Oh, Witch Doctor's gone. Bounce done, Rocket, Rod, gets the kill. PCT and X are here though. They want to see if they can actually stop Dendy. They need to trap him inside the cogs, which will give X time to actually deal off that damage. He is currently on the run. Spectra's going to horn. Tidehunter's here as well. He is level 6, so if he wants to, we can actually ravage this. He actually probably should right now. Where is the ravage? It's not there. He's actually got no mana for it. He's already let off the gush. And the Vorst. Pudge gets 2, Pudge gets 3, and Spectra takes out the 4th.
Again. What the hell?
And Morphling's now trying to retreat back out again. There's no waveform. He's staggered up. And Dendy will look for a hook to finish this. Havorsa is currently in the way. Havorsa actually goes off to the side so the hook can bring it back in again. Pudge gets another one. 15 for 1 on Dendy.
It's 15 for 1 and it is 5-0 as well. It was basically sort of an ultra kill. It was a 5-0 trade. Not a single one of Na'Vi died. This is a complete rape at the moment. Really unfortunate. If you look at Clockwork Goblin, his stats are 0-7-0. He's not being involved in any kill whatsoever, he's just been feeding all the time. This is just massive feed.
Dire's top tower is under
Normally I would like to say no game can ever be called GG, especially not a single tier 1 tower has actually gone down. And in we go hook again. Ulti combo, AA is going to fly his ulti in as well. It actually hits on Witch Doctor, who dies before he even has time to put off his ultimate. And then Spectra comes in and rips Tidehunter apart. Dendy is on the run with that Maledict on him. It won't be enough to kill him though, and he'll just pop an Urn Charge and Hawk again! 18 for 1.
Well, it's 18 for 1. It's basically, the Spectre has not died yet. Spectre's not died yet, and Dendy is beyond godlike all the time. Spectre's not died.
He has a Radiance too. He can buy a Radiance if he wants. He's got 5.2k.
Yeah, this is complete dominance. The pick's just not putting it out. We're really Clockwork Goblin first pick. I mean, obviously PCT is a better player than me, but still, he's really underperforming. He was feeding that Spectre. If you're already winning mid lane because there are 2 people in mid against Axis Tinker, who is alone, then you at least should not be feeding as hard as he did. It's a Vengeful Spirit plus Spectre, and Clockwork Goblin just died all the time. He's not having any use in the fight whatsoever. Currently Pudge is already unkillable. They can't bring down Pudge. He's got 2.48k HP. They by nowhere near enough burst to bring him down.
ALD flies in. Pudge is just right there in front of Morphling. Morphling really stacked there on the Angie as well. Fair enough considering how much he's got. She got to get hook. Just going a bit of a random one there. Just getting the range a little bit wrong there by Dendy. It's so much life, so much farm. And has Spectre actually bought up the Radiance? He's spent something. He's bought up on something. And yeah, Spectre buys the Radiance. So they'll be flying out to him in just a moment. It's flying down right now. So Radiance at 20 with a Vanguard. Pudge is walking around. He's actually completed up Pipe now. He just needs to get it flowing out as well. But there's only one courier.
Yeah, well, nobody really cares. They could currently, they could play 3-on-5.
Oh, hello! 5-man gank on Havorsa. Daggers. Courier is here. They actually get the Radiance to him. I thought they would have picked up the courier. PCT! Dendy picks up Clockwork. Life just never goes his way. Spectra actually haunts back in again after a quick buyback. And the Radiance burn. He picks up one. The dagger on X. He will just dive this. He is actually burning X to the ground. Dendy pulls the Tidehunter back and says, let him kill him. Double kill. Dendi is beyond godlike, and it's a double kill as well for the Spectra. Vengeful Spirit's trying to have fun right now on the bottom lane, and there's a tier 1 tower which is waiting to be his plaything.
Yeah, it's again a 5-0 trade. Once again, we're just seeing basically not even team fights, it's just small ganks, but even every single one of them died. It's not for a 5-0. Morphling was it Morphling in the fight? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, Morphling was there. It was all 5 heroes trying to get the kill on a Force. They did get it and they forced the buyback, but the second he bought back, he just haunted and rejoined the fight. And Na'Vi fought with 5. But it was Dendi again too. Dendi just picking off like before that fight started with obviously you see Clockwork getting picked off. That was the start. Instantly it became a 4v5 because Spectre just instantly bought back, and now they're going to go Roshan.
All their skills were on cooldown. Yeah, so EHOME's all their skills were on cooldown. They used everything on the Spectre to get him down.
Yeah. And then one buyback, he's got more money than God to do so, and he's going hard. Power shot, scouting out EHOME coming into her. She stopped them going for Roshan. Dendi already popping off the pipe. Only affects himself for this one, though. Ravage will actually stun them, and then died. He's dead before the fight even starts. His Ravage was all he contributed. 3 heroes down. Windrider's on low life. Morphling is brought down. Windrider just moves back and up towards the high ground. Tinker is trying to retreat right now. EHOME had to try something, but there is nothing they can really do. Pudge hooks back in again, and VS steals the last hit with a magic missile. They will go back to what they were doing, which is Roshan.
Yeah, well, basically, actually, I was trying to call they cannot stop them at the moment, but they tried, and every single one of them died.
Morph disconnects. Like, GG call comes out for EHOME. Yeah, they have had enough.
Yeah, 20-minute raid.
And the players will actually stand up and leave. That was carnage. 38 for 6. We're going to take a break. We're going to try and compile our thoughts. I know Na'Vi will want to be doing the same thing as well. I mean, EHOME will want to be doing the same thing as well. Just thinking, what the hell just happened to us? Game 2 coming up very, very soon. Grand final, Na'Vi versus EHOME.